Thank you so much for tuning in to Talks with Tony, where I get the opportunity to answer real questions from real people about real life. Now, today's quote of the day is, "Be all in or get out." There's nothing worse than being in a relationship, friendship, or a partnership with someone who is half in and half out. Be all in or nothing at all. Thank you for joining me. Now we're going to jump right into the questions of the day.
Hey, Tony. My name is Angel Blue from Missouri, and I was calling because I just recently had a 1-year-old, a daughter, and her father, he kind of fooled me. He told me he was one way, and he kind of got upset because he didn't want, he wanted a baby, but he wanted a boy. When he realized it was a girl, he just totally, distanced himself, switched up, and wanted to co-parent. And so that's what we're doing. We're co-parenting. He's not on child support or anything like that. And my question is, if I should put him on child support, when I ask for money for her, he gives it to me, but what he does is he's not owning up to his end. He's not, giving her time, because time is the most important. He wants his mother to fill in for him, oh, you need to do this. I'd be like, oh, I need you to watch her. Oh, take her to my mother. And it's he's trying to, excuse himself and have his mother to play his role because he says he don't know what to do with a little baby. So, Tony, I just want to know, you've been a male, what's your point of view on this? I don't want to be naive and all this extra stuff, and I just want peace in my life, and I don't want him to, I don't want to run him away that he doesn't be in my daughter's life, because I want her to be raised by her, have her dad in her life, or at least a male figure. So, again, Tony, just let me know your response to this. Thanks so much.
Angel, thank you so much for writing me. And that was a deep question. And, I've actually been getting that question a lot more recently, and I don't really understand, what's wrong with so many men today. And I guess we can see it just as a trickle-down effect, guys coming up without a father, just being raised so cold and not really knowing how to be there for their woman and for their child. And to the men, I want to hear your side of it. I want you to write in and call in and tell me your side. Express to me, some of this pressure. Because me personally, I told my mother as a young man, I said, "Mom, if I sleep with a prostitute and get her pregnant, I'm gonna marry her because I'm going to raise my child in the home." And that was my mindset solely because I saw my dad tough it out in a relationship that wasn't a good one for him or my mother, but he stayed there and he raised me. And he didn't let the relationship that they didn't have affect the way he treated my sister and I. And he was all in, he was all there, and they got over, and he was a big person, he stood up and they got over their differences, my mother and him, so that he could be there. And so because of that, it developed in me this sense to want to be there. But today, we see this social media, we see, all the rappers and, all the role models that's out there today. A lot of them they're showing us that you can make a choice and then escape the consequences. And they're showing us that you can get a woman pregnant. You can be dating one woman, get another woman pregnant, the woman you're with stay with you. We see the celebrities, so many celebrity couples to where a man has this woman, and this could be a beautiful woman. She could be a celebrity, and he gets a woman on the side pregnant, and the celebrity woman or this beautiful woman or good woman takes him back. And so men are seeing this. Men are seeing on a large scale that you can just up and leave, that you can walk out. And this is what I'll tell you. You have to focus on you and who you are to that child. Because if you're so worried about him and what he's doing and what he's not doing, guess what? Your child, when your child grows up and comes of age, she'll be able to see that. She'll be able to look at you and say, you know what, my mom is chasing my dad. Like, my mom was so lost and confused and worried about what my dad was doing that she couldn't really pay me any attention because she was chasing after him. So focus on what you're doing. Now, the other side of this goes a little deep, and I want to touch on it. The other side of this is for the ladies who you have this man, the father of your child, who is not with you, and you send your child to that man. What I want you to understand is that this is serious. Like, if you watch the news for a couple of days, you're gonna see a child that was either molested or killed by their father. And I'm coaching women who were molested by their father. I'm coaching women who their husband or their boyfriend molested their daughter. So this is so serious, this is so real, and this is something that we ignore, we overlook. Listen to me, ladies, I want you to hear me on this. Don't ever, ever try to force a man to be with his child and to take care of his child if he does not want to be. You cannot force him. Don't give him a guilt trip. Don't beg him. Don't plead with him, because what he is telling you, he's telling you that I am not a man. I am not ready for this commitment. I am not fit to be with this child alone and to love him or her the way they need to love. That's what he's telling you. But because we are men, we don't overly articulate ourselves, and we just say it straight to the point. And you being a woman thinking that you know more than him and that you're going to ask him the same question 10 different ways and you're expecting 10 different answers when he already told you, send her to my mother. I don't know what to do with a 1-year-old baby girl. Listen to him. Listen to him. Because I was there. I was that young man. I was a man trying to take care of my son. And that screaming and that crying, you know, me, I played football for 15 years of my life, played in college, you know, all them head injuries, you know, and a man maybe didn't go through that, but just the trauma, you know, of being a man in this world. Sometimes what certain men go through, he will take it out on that child. So I say this seriously to all of the ladies. Stop trying to force your child on a man who walked out on you, because he's showing you that he's not a man by getting you pregnant and knowing that you're not the one. Because that didn't even add up to me. That didn't even make any sense when, you know, you said, well, he wanted a son, and because we had a daughter, he said now he wants to co-parent. That is, if that was verbatim, that was the stupidest thing I've ever heard a man say. But that goes to show you that this is not real life for him. This is a video game. This is Sims, you know, this is just this fantasy world to where he wanted a son, and now that you don't have a son, he wants to walk away. But I'm gonna tell you the real truth. It has nothing to do with it being a girl, because men love their daughters. Men become a whole nother man when they have a girl. It has nothing to do with that. He doesn't want you. He doesn't want you, and that's why he's gone. That's why he wants to co-parent. And he doesn't want any ties or any parts of you. That's why he's also saying, send the baby to my mom. I don't have the time. So take both sides, look at both sides of the coin, and keep working on you, and don't worry about what he's trying to do and who he's not becoming, you make sure you're 100% for your child. Thank you so much for that question, Angel. Let's go to the next question.
Hi, my name is Jay, and I'm calling from Dallas, Texas. And I was calling to ask this question. Do you think someone should get another chance after they cheated on you and had 2 kids out of wedlock?
Now, I don't want to make light of this situation, and I really respect, your heart, Jay, for even considering this. I mean, the fact that you're even thinking about, the fact that you took the time to call me and say, should I give this man another chance after having 2 kids out of wedlock? First, let me help you understand this. Even Michael Jordan did not shoot 100% from the field. It is very hard for a man to have sex with a woman one time and get her pregnant. Most men will tell you, most fathers will tell you, it took us a few shots. Some men it took 100 shots. Some men it was 10 shots. Some men maybe 20. I mean, at one point I thought I couldn't have kids. I thought that what was coming wasn't working because it took that much time to get pregnant. So I want you to understand this. If he had 2 kids on you, that means that he slept with each one of these women numerous of times. And these 2 women happen to get to the level of unprotected sex. So if you will sleep with 2 different women while you're in a relationship and you sleep with those 2 women unprotected, how many women were on the protection list? So it could have been 10 women that he used protection with, and then these 2, and out of those 2, it could have been 4 or 5 that were on the unprotected list. So this is the picture you gotta paint. This is what you gotta realize and understand. And not only did he have sex, but he got them pregnant. So he went in with reckless abandon. I mean, he just went all out. And then he brought that dirty thing back to you. Brought it back to you. And did not care about what she could have had and all the other women. So now, with all that in perspective, ask yourself, and I didn't hear you say husband, because 9 out of 10 times if somebody's married, they'll say we're married and it's been X amount of years. So this sounds like it could be a boyfriend. But whether it's a boyfriend or a husband, you really have to ask yourself, with all of that in perspective now, do I stay with this person? Do I stay with this person? And my question also to you would be, has he changed? Have you seen any changes? Did he have a come to Jesus meeting? Is he begging you to keep him, to stay with him? Has he done a 180 in his life? Has he shown you that he's a new person? If he hasn't done those things, and you don't know without a shadow of a doubt that this cheater has changed. Because see, it's one thing to cheat, and it's another thing to become a cheater. See, sometimes I believe in saying, okay, first time, shame on you, we'll call it a mistake. Even though we know it's not, just for, give them the benefit of the doubt. But 2 times, now you didn't just cheat, now you're a cheater. And for a cheater to change, and I'm gonna tell you, a cheater can change. A cheater can change, because I was not always the man that I am today. So when I was out there and I was in the dating field and I had girlfriends, I mean, it was open season. But let me tell you what changed me. 3 things. I fell in love with God. And so I fear God. I fear God, so that even when my wife cannot see me, God can. And I fear him and his presence in my life. And I fear him because I have witnessed his blessings. So I don't want to experience his wrath. The second thing is I fell in love with my wife. So not just love her, but in love with her, that even knowing that God is a forgiving God, I still think about what it would do to my wife. How bad would it hurt her? And when I try to process infidelity, it makes my stomach hurt. I feel like I would throw up. And it's because I fell in love with her. You can cheat on somebody you love because love can be very shallow. To love in itself is not all that deep. One definition of love is a liking of a person, a strong affection for. So you can cheat on somebody you can love, you can hurt somebody you love. But when you fall in love, you still can hurt them, but it's a whole lot harder. And lastly, I fell in love with my purpose. So imagine with me doing what I'm doing right now, how damaging would it be if it came out on all the blogs that I'm having an affair on my wife? I mean, it would be so damaging. So because I have a fear for God, I'm in love with my wife. I also fear my wife. I'm not gonna lie. I do feel like something will be missing off my body, the lower half of my body, if I cheated. And she would allow me to go to sleep thinking she has forgiven me. And in the deepest part of my sleep, I will wake up screaming and then go into shock because of what I just lost. So that is also a part of, she has put that fear in me. And then lastly is my purpose. I'm serving something that's bigger than me. And I believe those three components must be in place for a cheater to change. I do believe people can change. But if you haven't seen that, I don't know if I'll take that gamble. Thank you so much, Jay. Let's go to the next question.
Hi, Tony. This is Simone from Pennsylvania. My question is, I've been with my boyfriend for 10 months now, and it's been pretty serious. We're around each other every day. He has 2 daughters, however, from 2 previous relationships. One is 22, the other is 14. However, they don't seem too apt to getting to know me. Do you think I should do something to encourage that? Or do you think he should intervene? Or do you think we should just wait and see how things pan out? That's my question. Thanks.
Thank you so much for asking that question. Now here, this is the blended family thing. Now this is the difference between, myself and, and could be other men like this too. Women, you're emotional, you care, and you care a lot. Whereas you've seen in movies and you'll see men that, it's been depicted in movies to where like the boyfriend comes in and the son is there and he punks him or roughs him up, slaps him upside of the head, jumps. Yeah, boy, I'm sleeping with your mom, And that's the difference with men is some men don't care to build a relationship with their woman's kids. If you don't like him, he's okay with it because he's sleeping with mom. Whereas with a woman, you want that approval. You want that approval. You want to be liked. You want it to work out, but you can't get caught up in that because those are daddy's girls. Those are daddy's little girls, and you will never be able to replace them. And they feel like you're coming to replace them. They would much rather see their dad work it out with their mom. Even if they have 2 different moms, both of them would like for their dad to be with their mom. So now you are this intruder. You're coming in, you're breaking up something. So now the gifts that they would get on birthdays and Christmas have to be divided because you're the woman. And they know that you get to do something with their father that no other woman gets to do, and that's to sleep with them. And they're old enough to know how strong that connection becomes. And so, because they could be in relationships of their own. So you have to realize you're stepping on their territory, and it's 10 months. Me personally, I typically tell people not to even introduce your partner to your kids inside of 12 months. So because it takes a full year to know what you really have and if it's really serious. So you coming in and, you know, you want the benefits of a wife and you're still a girlfriend. And he's not intervening because he understands. He knows that month 11, you could be gone. Month 12, you could be gone. So he's not trying to make y'all come together and fall in love until he knows that, look, you're the one. And then if he deems it necessary, we'll say, if he values their opinion and the way they view him, then he will do the work. He'll say, you know what, let's go out, let's go to a movie, let's go out to dinner, let's go bowling. I want you to hang out with my daughters. You know, I love them, they're my world, but I also love you and you're coming into our world and I want y'all to get along. And I believe that should be on the man or the person, if it's the other way around, to take initiative and kind of introduce them at the right time. So I would say to you, pump your brakes. Pump your brakes. Focus on you building something real with him, and then everything else will fall into place. Thank you so much. Let's go to the next question.
Sheila from Polk County. I wanted to ask a question. Been married for 22 years. My husband filed divorce 3 or 4 times, walked out, been with another woman off and on, came back home, still the same pattern. I feel like it's time to let go, but something keeps having me holding on. Like, that girl is not what he wanted. He still wants his family, but he's not showing it. You know, he's out doing different things with her and more than what he have done with me since we've been married, and, you know, really been very disrespectful to me, and not only me, but his 3 kids. And, you know, I just want to know if, you know, if I'm really, you know, ready to let go, or, you know, I'm just holding on, just being a fool, or what. All right, goodbye.
Sheila, thank you so much for writing in. First, Polk County, that's where I'm from. For those of you who don't know, I'm from Polk County, Florida. So Sheila, she's calling from the hometown. Now, me growing up there, I know the mindset, you know, very country, you know, we very backwards minded, you know, in the sense of we are not really a forward thinking type of people. We kind of really, you know, country. And we have those old school relationships to where through thick and thin, I mean, I saw people get burned with hot grease and hot grits or boiling water, lose half of their skin and stay in their relationship. I mean, I saw people just beaten, broken, battered, and sticking in that relationship. And I don't know where that mindset comes from. I don't know why we do it, but I'm not a fan of it. So you say you've been married 22 years. I want to send you this notification that you have not been married 22 years. You have been in a relationship with a single man. He is not your man. He got community loving. He everybody man. And so you have to really ask yourself, is this what I want? Can I do bad by myself? Because you're doing bad. Can I do bad by myself? And am I blocking a blessing? Can I let this go and work on myself and get to the point that someone else is attracted to me and now I can build on something real? Ask yourself, do you want to live the rest of your life being taken for granted? Do you want to live the rest of your life being overlooked? And so stop telling yourself that, oh, he doesn't want her, oh, he's just messing around with her, because he's trying to show you that he doesn't want you. And what he is screaming for on the inside is that you will love yourself enough to walk away. Because the fact that you've stayed this long, you've made him believe that without him, you're nothing. You've made him believe that if he left you, you'd kill yourself. So that's why he's staying, but he's continuing to do what he's doing because, for one, he's not a man. Two, he doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know where he's going. He's gone through so much in his life. You sit down and you really think about his story. He probably was abandoned as a child, or he was beaten and battered and bruised. He's raised in the streets. You know, he's gone through so much in his life. Lost family members, lost friends, probably got friends and family doing life in prison. I'm from Polk County. I know how it is. He's gone through so much. He doesn't have a clue what it is to be the head of a household. He doesn't have a clue what it is to love a woman the way Christ loved the church. He doesn't have a clue. So you're following a blind man. And when the blind lead the blind, which you can see fine, but you're choosing to ignore the signs, when the blind lead the blind, you both end up in a ditch. So you have to ask yourself, how long do you want to live? You may be 45, you may be 50, you could be 30. Let's say you want to touch at least 80. Even if you're 55 years old, that means you have 25 more years of life. Do you want to be miserable for the next 25 years, being overlooked? And guess what's going to happen? When you stay in a relationship like this, eventually he's going to meet a woman that wants his sorry butt. And then he's going to leave you for good for her. So now you lose the relationship on his terms when you have the opportunity to walk away on your terms. And so if it's been 22 years and you're still not getting the love that you deserve, I'm sad to say you have been wasting your time. So make your decision, because I can't make it for you, but make a wise decision. Really, really be smart about it. And ask yourself, is this how I want to live the rest of my life? Thank you so much for joining me on our second episode. I really appreciate it. Fellas, I want to hear from you, so y'all keep calling in. We had a couple on the first episode. Ladies, I thank you so much. Make sure that you call in and leave a voicemail. The number, you'll see it at the bottom, 855-816-TONY. And don't forget to subscribe. It should be a little red button somewhere at the top or right up under the video. Subscribe so that you can become a part of this community, so that every video I release, you'll be notified. It'll come right to your inbox, set your notifications. And remember to keep an eye out for other episodes, other series we'll be doing. God bless you. We'll talk soon.